Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Wednesday, the 29th of October. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I thought I'd talk about some of my antics in cardiac rehab. And then sometimes you become too serious in life, and that needs to change. So, we're going to do a little bit of personal development with a little bit of business, but more on personal development because I think that's really, really important to setting goals and achieving them. So stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. If you didn't already know it, yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of October, 2025. So let's start off with cardiac rehab. So I get there, and I've been having problems, and Amos, I think you would be one to have a better understanding and stuff. But you know, with open heart surgery, it's not a life sentence, but there's certain things that can trigger certain things. And what I'm learning is I'm even almost a year out, I still have congestive heart failure. And I need to manage that, right? And I ran into that Sunday. Sunday, I started getting where my feet were starting to swell a little bit. No problem. Take Lasix. That's what the doctor orders. But it gave me a reminder that, you're not out of this 100%. You know, definitely I'm thrilled I'm still here and alive and kicking with the family and everything. But I can't go back into the old diet that I used to drink coffee all day and smoke cigarettes all day. And that's what I lived on. And when I first got out, you know, with working with my cardiologist and everybody else, I was trying to eat 3 meals a day because they told me that it's better to eat 3 meals a day. Well, that lasted maybe 3 months because I'm the type of person is I now have my cup of coffee in the morning, okay? And then I don't touch anything food related until around 5, 6 o'clock at night. No breakfast, no lunch, and Claude's the same way. So that's one of the things that I probably shouldn't have done, and that is going back to the old ways of because I'm not hungry. And how do I keep this girlish figure if I'm eating 3 meals a day and packing it on, right? And then I started eating like chocolate ice cream, chocolate candy bars, anything else chocolate, I was craving it. I gave up the candy bars and the chocolate because I knew that it wasn't good for me. And then I have to limit my salt intake and stuff like that, right? Then there's going to be times where your heart rate is going to be out of whack. It's not AFib like they worried about directly after the surgery, but it's in the tachycardia range where at rest, your heartbeat should be around 80, 78 to 80. Normally with me at rest, it's like 65 to 68, which isn't bad. It's just, it is what it is, right? So I showed up for cardiac rehab yesterday, and at rest, it was 91. And of course, I get the third degree from Crystal. Did you take your medications? Yes, I took my medications. I also took a Lasix Sunday because I started seeing some swelling from, to dewater me, basically, because the heart, for whatever reason, was having a bad day and couldn't get rid of all the excess water that was in my system. So that gives you the reminder, right? So I'm at 91. And Mia is taking my blood pressure and stuff. And she says, well, 90 is pretty high for you. I said, well, I'm just happy to see you. So she started laughing. She just got married. And she's like, well, I'm always happy to see you too. But why is your heart rate so high? And I said, I don't know. I said, it's been fluttering a little bit, which, Amos, you probably get this at times, where I used to get them, but I always called them panic attacks, where the heart will flutter. And you're not getting chest pains, you're not getting anything else. It just flutters, right? So my blood pressure was a little high, but not bad. I mean, it was like 139 over 62, and I normally run anywhere around 100 over 59, 60. So that was a little high. Could be an infection going on somewhere. Who knows? Could be that I'm handling wood and I'm doing everything, that I want. And that's the other thing, is that they tell you, you need to rest, you need to go slow, you need to... Screw that. I don't know if I got 5 minutes left to live, 5 hours, 5 days, 50 days, or 5 years. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit around and not enjoy doing things because I want to get an extra hour of life, if that means anything. I was able to do haying this year in tractors a lot. And I'm finishing up the firewood. I got almost enough in the shop for this year. So I'll be starting on next year. So I'm still doing that. I've been hunting at least once so far, and that's more than I did last year. I'm a busybody, and I have to keep busy doing things, and I won't come into the house before 3 o'clock. Because if I come in before 3 o'clock, then I go to bed earlier at night. If I stay out till at least 3, then usually I have dinner between 5:30 and 6. I'm in bed by 6:30, 7 o'clock. If I come in any earlier than that, pull the clock back. All right, I might be eating dinner at 4:30 and then going to bed at 5. Yeah, that's what I mean. So I try to stay busy. So back to cardiac rehab. This is about where sometimes we make life too serious and we need to laugh, all right? So I'm on the treadmill, okay? And they have these grips that are steel that you grab hold of while you're on the treadmill. And what it does is it regulates your heartbeat as far as there's a screen monitor and it tells you what your heart rate is. And I already knew it was 91 at rest, all right? So I figured if it get up to around 100, that's fine, So I'm on it, and I'm about 7 minutes in, and my heart rate goes from 101 down to 58. And then it started climbing back up. Of course, I hollered to Crystal. And I said, Crystal, the machine... It just said that my heart rate dropped to 58. She said, well, that machine is screwy. I said, have compassion. I'm dying from a heart attack. And, of course, my 2 compadres that are in their 80s, they were laughing their asses off because I was giving the what's for to Crystal. And Crystal she's a lovable girl. She would do anything for you. But she's telling me, you're not having a heart attack. The machine is off. Give me a minute, and I'll come in and I'll check your pulse rate with the other machine against what the treadmill was saying. So when she came back in, she put it on. My heart rate had dropped to 97 on the machine, and the machine that she had on my finger said 97. I said, see, Crystal, this machine is reading correctly. What would cause my heart to drop to 58 and then work its way back up? I said, did my heart stop? But sometimes you make life too serious. Living with this illness is not a death sentence by any means. It could have been, but it's not. And Do I have to do some things differently? Yes. Is it, does it mean that I can't be successful? No. Does it mean that I can't have a good time? No. Does it mean that we can't get stuff done at the shop and pay the bills? Nope. I mean, you can do all the above. Or you can sit in a recliner all day long and, worry about thyself. And one of the things that I do, and I don't know, I'm trying to think of the way to word it. I don't think about myself that often. I don't. What I do hope is that every encounter that I encounter someone else, I do it in a positive way. Whether I made their life better, brighter, or encourage them to do something that they were nervous about doing in a positive way. I'm not a Debbie Downer. And I don't feel that telling people anything or talking to somebody, I'm not here to berate other people. That's not my job. There's people that are very lonely. And this kind of gets a rise from some of them. When I tell people, loneliness is a choice. And it is. Have I been lonely before? Yes, absolutely. But it's a choice. And I said this morning on my Facebook post, that have you ever been in a room and felt alone? And most people would probably say yes. But that's a choice, because I could have reached out to anybody in that room and started a conversation. I could have. And a friend is just a stranger or a stranger is just a friend we have yet to meet, right? And you should be trying to help other people, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Make their day brighter. And I'm not saying to go out and force yourself on anybody, by no means, right? It's more so that if you can give a child, a sense of security, and that they're good enough, no matter how they are, they're good enough, that will impact the child. I've seen this husband and wives in the same house that don't communicate, and they've lost that why they even got together, right? Because things have gotten so busy. And I've seen people that just rush around here and there and everywhere else. They have no belief system that there's anything greater than themselves. And they feel that they have to carry the whole load of what we call life. And I'm here to say, no, there's a better way and you deserve better. And that is, I know that I'm never alone. I mean, I got my two scoundrel dogs here, CB and Shelby. But no matter where I go, I'm not alone. And that helps me a lot. I don't feel the need to carry everything on my own shoulders. I already know I'm not strong enough. I take and I put things up to God that are out of my control. And that is other people and stuff that there's nothing I can do about it. That it is what it is. So I just give it up to Him and go on my merry way. I don't sit there constantly worrying about something. It's a yay or an nay. Is there something I can do about it? If there is, do it. If there's not, stop worrying. You're just taking days off your life. You are. How many times have you sat there and worried about something for sometimes days and then nothing ever materialized out of it? I have. More than once. I think the older we get, the more experiences we have. But me worrying for that whole week didn't change a darn thing, other than make me age older than what I should be. That's it. Had I nipped it in the bud by first saying, is there anything I can do about it? And if not, putting it up to God, that week could have been spent doing something else other than constantly worrying, right? Business is the same way. You can't be all business all the time. Been there, done that. That's all I focused on. And I even dreamed about business. And I thought that, that was my calling. And I invested everything. Invested everything so much that I never had time to go to the grandkids' ball games. I missed birthday parties. I missed a lot of stuff. If I could wind the clock backwards, I would tell myself, the business is not the most important thing in your life. It's your kids, your family, friends. The business, yes, but it shouldn't set up on such a high pedestal that that's where you're at all the time and you're missing everything over here. And hopefully you guys that are starting out are listening to me. And the ones that have been at it for a while, it's never too late to kind of say, all right, I got to change my ways because I am missing out on a lot. I mean, I had everything that you would ever want. I had the best boats, the fishing boats and so forth, and I've told this before. But I never had any time to use them. So after 3 years of having them not even be pulled out, I said, screw it. Use it or lose it. So I sold them. And I bought this small aluminum boat with a 99 Nissan on it. I've been out more times this year than I have in the past 4 years. And this boat is nothing to be proud of. It's just a little aluminum boat with a nice little Nissan on it, electric start. And it's not made for the big waters. I do a lot of the lakes or the rivers and stuff is where I fish. And it didn't cost me much, where my other boats were expensive. But what's the sense in having it if you're not going to use it? If all you do is focus on business, you're going to miss out on stuff, and then you're going to have regrets in the end. You are. You can't go back into the past and do things to change it. If we could, I'd be a billionaire by now. I guess what I'm trying to say is you can't get so focused in yourself that you don't realize other people are struggling. You're clueless. Try to make every encounter you have with anybody starting today in a positive way. It takes the same amount of energy to berate somebody than it does to say something positive. So why not focus on the positive? If you look, you will find something positive to say or do. Sometimes it's not even an action. Sometimes, like a friend of mine that had just lost his wife, it's putting my hand on his shoulders. It wasn't much, but it was enough. That's what he needed. In the comments, what are your thoughts on this? Are you all work and no play? Do you miss out on a lot of the kids' stuff, grandkids' stuff? And if you're starting out, did you hear me? That the business is great, but don't make it everything. Don't make it your all. Because those things can come and go. Money, material things can come and go. I've had it all. I've lost it all. And I think I was most happiest when I had nothing, because the only way was up. When you have stuff, you feel like you have to protect that stuff from losing it. If that makes any sense. You guys have a great Wednesday.